Mortal Kombat 1 has been officially revealed, and oh my word, has there been a ton of information already. With no doubt more to come, as if the September release stays where it is a mere 4 months until the game is actually out and in our hands. With the recent reveal, though, comes a lot of information in various places, and I thought, you know what, let's try and get it all together in one place for almost a one-stop shop experience for everything that's been mentioned as of right now. Obviously, this is being written shortly after the announcement, and with the rate information comes flying off the shelves once a trailer's landed, there's always a chance that this video becomes outdated in even a matter of days. But it's worth doing for that initial reveal period, as there is some stuff here that definitely needs mentioning if you haven't seen it already. This is everything we currently know about the next Mortal Kombat title, Mortal Kombat 1. There are various ways to find information on this game right now: the trailer itself, the website FAQ, and the various social media posts. Let's just go over them one at a time. First of all, the trailer. The timeline reset theory was certainly correct, as it shows a fire god Liu Kang essentially basking in the world he's created, mentioning the choices one can make in his new world, be it choices of a peaceful life or one that's a bit more combat-focused. We see various characters here, starting with a seemingly now human Raiden, and of course, Kung Lao. Now, Raiden being human actually makes sense, as remember, MK11 did end with Raiden essentially transferring his powers, as it were, to make Liu Kang the new god character. Although in this trailer, a very deliberate crack of thunder is seen and heard appearing right behind Raiden, and that is interesting. Shortly swapping over to what looks like a much more peaceful Outworld, with both Kitana and Mileena in the carriage, confirming both of them as playable characters, I guess. Now, there are questions surrounding these shots. Is it actually Outworld here, or could this even be Edenia? I think a lot of it isn't completely clear yet, as some of the citizens here are wearing what could be clothing from either realm. The big question for me is, why are Kitana and Mileena in the same place and not going after each other as canonical enemies? Well, in the trailer, Liu Kang is mentioning rivals becoming allies, so this new timeline could see characters and their alliances be very different to what we've come to know over the last 30 years. The final two characters together are Scorpion and Sub-Zero. A shot suggests the two are about to come to blows, but again, this is where Liu Kang mentions allies. So is there a possibility that these two were never enemies to begin with in Liu Kang's new world? It could potentially be a misdirection here, but it does again confirm these two as playable characters, surprising a grand total of nobody. And they have very similar clothing, I might add. I wonder if there's some lore behind that. The final sequence is the idea that something is wrong. A red eclipse takes place in all three locations. Concerned characters look onwards, and shortly after that, a portal emerges, revealing an extremely young but dangerous Shang Tsung, who dispatches almost every character we've just seen in footage that I definitely can't show you because it's YouTube. Now, the final shot of the trailer is Liu Kang punishing Shang Tsung. The quote, "You have chosen to defy peace, then you have chosen war with a god," into what could actually be one of Liu Kang's finishing moves here, and I'm going to make that read right now. Now, the last question surrounding this quote from Liu Kang is that there is an almost villainous light on him as he's preparing to execute the sorcerer in the trailer. Now, it is the obvious call that Liu Kang is a beacon of good, as he has been for a lot of games. But here, is Liu Kang actually the number one good character? Fans have already speculated that there could be an element of corruption with Liu Kang here. Follow the rules of his world or pay the price? Could Liu Kang even become the big bad of the game due to trying to keep peace by any means necessary? All of this is food for thought, but none of it is obviously confirmed yet. Now, I think it's time to cover what we know for sure. Now, the absolute god source of information is found over on Mortal Kombat's official website. It features a frequently asked questions section that covers a ton of basics for what a player should expect at this stage, varying from release days to content to new features. Allow me to just read from it. The first question is, what type of game is Mortal Kombat 1? With an answer, Mortal Kombat 1 is the latest title in the acclaimed Mortal Kombat video game franchise developed by award-winning NetherRealm Studios. The game will introduce a reborn Mortal Kombat universe that has been created by the fire god Liu Kang, featuring reimagined versions of iconic characters as they've never been seen before, along with a new fighting system, game modes, bone-crushing finishing moves, and more. The FAQ confirms an important one: platforms, and it does confirm that Mortal Kombat 1 will be available for PlayStation 5, Xbox Series X or S, Nintendo Switch, and PC. And in regards to the PC, it will be on Steam and the Epic Games Store. This does confirm that Mortal Kombat 1 is truly a next-gen only experience, not playable on Xbox One or PlayStation 4. Now, this is following a similar idea to what Tekken 8 is bringing forward, and all it shows is that we truly are in that next generation for fighting games now. The question is, who is developing what version of the game? All versions of Mortal Kombat 1 are built on NetherRealm Studios technology, with oversight by NetherRealm. The NetherRealm team is developing the PlayStation 5 and Xbox Series X or S versions of the game. Now, Q-Lock is developing the Steam and Epic Game Store versions of the game, with Shiver Entertainment and Saber Interactive developing the Nintendo Switch version of the game. So there's a few companies on the stove here working on the various versions, and I guess for a game like this, that does make sense. When is the release date? Mortal Kombat 1 is scheduled for worldwide release on September the 19th, 2023. Players who purchase the Mortal Kombat 1 Premium Edition or Collector's Edition will have early access to the game beginning September 14th. The next question is about pricing, of which there are 3 versions of the game someone can purchase. The Mortal Kombat 1 Standard Edition will be available physically and digitally for $69.99 on PlayStation 5, Xbox, Nintendo Switch, and PC, including Steam and Epic Games Store. The step up from that seems to be the Premium Edition, which will be available physically and digitally on the same systems for $109.99. Now, this includes all of the Standard Edition content, along with the Combat Pack and early access to the game beginning September 14th. Finally, it will include 1,250 Dragon Crystals, which is listed on the website as the in-game currency. Interestingly, the Combat Pack will feature a Johnny Cage character skin with the likeness of Jean-Claude Van Damme, available at launch. Early access to 6 new playable characters, available post-launch, and 5 new Kameo Fighters, available post-launch. And don't worry, Jean-Claude Van Damme and the Kameo Fighters, I'll be talking about those shortly. Finally, the Mortal Kombat 1 Collector's Edition will be available physically at select retailers for $249. And this is the important one: PlayStation 5 and Xbox Series X or S only. It will include all Premium Edition content and early access, along with a 16.5-inch Liu Kang sculpture designed by Course, and an inspired Liu Kang in-game character skin, 3 exclusive art prints, a steel case, and an extra 1,450 Dragon Crystals, bringing you to 2,700 in total. Now, this is interesting to me because Course have worked with Mortal Kombat before. Those who remember Mortal Kombat X will know that the Scorpion statue was made by them, including a in-game skin for Scorpion, which would eventually become Blue Steel Sub-Zero, an absolute game changer for the esports crowdfunding, and then the year after, Crimson Ermac would follow. So Course have definitely had their hand in Mortal Kombat before, and it's great to see them back. There is mention of a beta. Players who pre-order the game on PlayStation 5 and Xbox Series X or S will receive access to the Mortal Kombat 1 beta, available in August 2023. And the wait for that is obviously even shorter. Mortal Kombat 1 will feature reimagined fighters like they've never been seen before, including Liu Kang, Scorpion, Sub-Zero, Raiden, Kung Lao, Kitana, Mileena, Shang Tsung, and Johnny Cage. And it says here, many others. Now, all of the characters that we saw in the trailer made this list as confirmed roster members, except for Johnny Cage. And it feels like because they had to mention the Jean-Claude Van Damme character swap skin, Johnny Cage kind of had to be announced here. Yeah, he's not in the trailer, unless he's hiding in the background somewhere, but for the sake of the skin, they kind of had to mention that he's here, otherwise you can't really make the announcement. Final two questions here are in regards to game modes, of which it says, NetherRealm's genre-defining story mode returns with a brand new cinematic narrative featuring unexpected twists on classic rivalries and original backstories for the wide-ranging cast of legendary fighters. More details for online and offline modes will be coming soon. I think there is a massive wish list here for what kind of modes people really want to see. People want to see a conquest, but is that going to just be the story mode instead? People want to see the extra stuff. Maybe the kart racer will come back, the chess combat, the puzzle combat. I'd love to see some of the really silly stuff make a return, but again, only time will tell. Now, in regards to story mode, it does mention unexpected twists, a cinematic narrative. Could this be more in-depth than the previous story modes that we've had before? Liu Kang in the trailer constantly talks about choices being made, and one can only assume those choices will be reflected in the story mode depending on whatever you, as a player, will decide to do. I really hope it's something like that, but again, we'll find out. Finally, will Mortal Kombat 1 have rollback netcode? The answer is yes. The game will have rollback netcode to support online gameplay. If anyone's played MKXL, Injustice 2, MK11, you already know what to expect, and with Mortal Kombat, in my opinion, having some of the most consistently strong netcode, which, trust me, that's a far cry from the days of MK9. Things have definitely changed, and NetherRealm made sure to make those changes for the good of the online community. It has worked out in wonderful amounts for online tournaments, and I'm very, very excited to see what competitive has in store. Now, the netcode will continue to, hopefully, be fantastic. So, one of the new features, and something that I did not mention in the FAQ because it deserves its own section, it's seemingly a major part of the game's identity. That is the Kameo Fighter system, with no mentions of variations anywhere in either the trailer or the website. It is very possible that variations are a thing of the past, with the new Kameo Fighters being the way to experience MK1 specifically. Now, the question you ask is, what is the Kameo Fighter system? It is described that Kameo Fighters are a unique roster of partner characters to assist during matches, creating expanded gameplay possibilities for players. These characters are chosen separately from the main roster. The idea sounds like you pick a character for the match, and then you get an extra option to select a Kameo fighter who provides assists. It isn't clear what those assists are, and it isn't clear what form they will take. However, this second option is one that sounds like it's absolutely where the utility comes from. This idea is not new. It has been done in fighting games before. The original Marvel vs. Capcom had assist-only characters. I think a more modern example could be Pokken, the Pokemon fighting game. There are just games where characters exist to be a support and not playable in a traditional sense. And it sounds like that's what's happening here, with mention of playable roster characters and Kameo Fighters being listed separately in regards to DLC content. This could obviously divide a few players, as the question is, are there going to be characters only appearing as cameos? Will some characters be available in both options? It's impossible to tell yet, but again, I do imagine we'll find out soon, because this sounds like it's the thing that makes MK1 what it is, from a gameplay sense. Now, what this doesn't sound like is a tag experience. I highly doubt you'll be swapping between the two picks here. It sounds very much like the Kameo Fighter is only there to add extra support to your base roster pick. I can't wait to find out more, because this is the thing that makes Mortal Kombat 1 what it is, I suppose, and that is something that they usually go all in on. whether it's characters or features. So there's no doubt going to be a lot more to dive into with each passing day, and we will do our absolute best to keep you as up to date as possible. It is wild to think that we went from 4 years to simply 4 months, and the time for new content is now. Thank you so much for watching, stick around, and I'll see you next time. Take care.